Wavy curves, magnetic raking guides, and concrete poured to perfection. This isn't your average relaxation activity. Let's build a Zen tray with a twist. We're casting this from scratch with this cool wavy design, recessed magnets so we have interchangeable raking guides. Let's build this. This is going to be fun. Welcome back to Timber West Design, where we talk timber, shade structures, and outdoor living. Here's the supplies you're going to need for this project. Some Simmental cement mix. You need a weight to mix that. I like this drill mixer. You'll need a scale to weigh the water. It's a 4-to-1 ratio. You're going to need a mold release like the canola oil spray. After that's cast, you'll need some primer, some paint, spot putty, some sandpaper, and some sand. And you'll need some magnets. I forgot the magnets. So you need some magnets because these are all magnetized. So that should get you started. Let's get this thing built. I started with this shape. I like these curves on here. I just want to make something different than you normally see on a Zen sand tray. So this is bigger than the 3D printer can print. So I need to cut it in fourths. And here it is with the mold. So this is the cast part. This is the mold. So I have a left and a right. We'll do those twice to make the other side, and let's send this to the printer. This is a pretty straightforward 3D print. It's not going to take too long. I need 4 of these pieces, and we'll get ready to bolt these together. The molds are ready to go. So what we're going to do is just flip these all upside down and start bolting things together. And we'll get this all bolted together and flip it around. I'll get to that point in a minute. The bolts are all in place. I just hand tightened them so far. Now it's time to just snug them up. So nothing too crazy, but just don't want them loose. And we'll get this ready for the next step. You may be wondering what these holes are for. I've got these magnets. I'm sticking them in these holes. I put a piece of tape on the end so I didn't get it mixed up. You want to make sure that the polarity is the same on all of them, and I'll show you why in a minute. But we're going to just put these magnets in here. Just got to tap that one in. So now we're going to add an extra magnet to it. And we're going to cast this with the magnets in. When we pull it off, hopefully these upper magnets stay with the concrete. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how that works. It's time to put mold release into the mold. I took the upper magnet off and I'm gonna just spray some canola oil in here. I like it in a box to kind of contain the spray a little bit. And then I take my brush, make sure we're getting it on all the nooks and crannies. We definitely want this to pull properly. So we're just kind of go around, make sure we're all good. And then, do not forget, but we're gonna put the magnets back, one on each. I didn't want to have mold release on the outside of the upper magnet. So let's go mix some concrete. Here we go. Let's pour this all in. Looks like we got just a good amount right here. Okay, I think we're good. So what I want to do, I have some metal concrete tools. I'm going to just slightly tool this after it sets up just a little bit, just to make sure this is 100% flat. It's looking good though. And once it sets up just a little bit, I take a float and just kind of go over it. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. I'll keep tooling this a little bit more. And I think this is going to be pretty good on the bottom. I want to thank this week's sponsor, Pale Blue Batteries. You know, I like nice high-end flashlights, and you know what powers my flashlights? Pale Blue rechargeable batteries. What I like about them is I can take a power bank on the go. There's a USB-C port right on the battery. I can plug it in, charge on the go. Pale Blue batteries, they're awesome. I let this one cure overnight this time. Sometimes I pull these in 3 hours, but the way this is shaped, I wanted to just give it a little bit more time. I think what we're gonna do is just pop it out. It doesn't, it's got draft. This should just come out. Yep, I'm feeling it. There we go. Pull these magnets. Ooh, the other magnets stayed in just like I had hoped. Look at that. That is going to be cool. All right, this is going to work like I planned. So I've got these magnets in here. You're going to see why shortly. But for now, I'll let this dry out and then we'll sand the parting lines, get it ready for primer, and I'll see you at the next step. So where the molds meet, that's called a parting line. We need to sand that. It should sand pretty easy. In the tight areas, I just use some folded up sandpaper like this on a convex surface like this. And if it's a little bit more, you could take a block and just blend that in. So just get it till it feels smooth, and we'll be priming soon. I've got a couple of coats of primer on here. I put some tape over where the magnets are, just didn't want to get any paint on them. I think they'll stick better if they're bare. Now I've got a few flaws here and there, so what I like to do is take a glove and a finger and just kind of go through and just touch up some of the areas that just need a little attention. Go through this whole thing, we'll let that dry. I'll sand it with 150 grit sandpaper. Depending on how it looks, I might do another primer coat. If it looks good, I'm gonna do a textured paint so it doesn't need to be as perfect, and we'll get to that point. The primer has been sanded. I sanded it with 150 grit and then I finished it off with 220. I didn't worry about sanding the inside because that's gonna be covered in sand. So we're ready to paint. So what I like to do before I paint, I take a very, just slightly damp cloth and just wipe it. I vacuum this all off and then just do a final wipe with a cloth. Just make sure it's clean. And then we have a fun new thing to try today. I built a spray booth and we're going to use it for the first time. So let's go put this in there and I'll show you how that works. So we'll just put our part in here. Made this spinner so that we can have good access to the paint. I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum matte hammered. So when you do a paint job, the key here is very light coats. So just get that first layer on very light. You're better off to do more coats that are light than try to just dump it on there and then you're gonna get runs. So just very light, just like so. And we'll get the inside a little bit, just like that. So that's our first coat. I'll give that probably 5 to 10 minutes. I'll come back and do another light coat. It'll take 2 to 3 light coats. We'll see how it looks, and then from then we'll take it from there. So I'm just spinning and just checking the surface, see how we're looking. I think we're looking pretty good, but I'll just do one final coat and we'll call it good. Light coat, nice and even. That's all we need to do. Okay, looking good. We'll give this, I'll let this sit overnight, and we'll take it to the next step. That was fun. One of the cool features of this design is I embedded these magnets in here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a second magnet, put it on here, and I've got this raking guide with the recessed hole. So we're gonna set it right on top of that. And then we're just gonna tap it. Oops. Now I've just embedded that in there. And we'll do that to, I've got some small pieces. I got these 30 millimeter. I got a bigger one and a square one. So we'll tap the magnets into all of these and then we'll get ready to pour some sand. Just to explain why I'm doing it this way, we need to get the polarity of the magnet the right way. So I'm sticking it on here because if I put it in here the wrong way, it's gonna repel, not stick. So that's the reason we put it on this way. And this is how it's gonna work. I've 3D printed some different sizes and shapes of some raking guides. They all have magnets now. So now what we'll do is we'll just stick, I'll start with this one. Let's pour some sand in here, level this off, and we'll start raking. This is a fine white sand I got on Amazon. I'll put the link in the description. It's like 40 to 80 mesh. Let's start playing. So I have some different rakes, some different sizes depending on what we're gonna do. We'll do a circle on here. There's a lot of people that are very talented doing this, and I am just learning this. So here we go. And then maybe we'll do a different size rake over here. Maybe another one over here. This is gonna take some practice to get nice and smooth. But it's getting pretty there, getting pretty good. So there's one pattern. Let's try something else. I put the square in here with the small little guides. Let's see how this one looks. And maybe I'll go around the small ones with something like that. This is definitely not as easy as it looks on some of the videos I've seen online. Make it look so easy. It's not hard, but it's definitely not as easy as it looks. Yeah, that's another fun pattern. To essentially erase it, I just kind of give it a shake like that and start over. I'll just kind of move some sand out of the way. Try the large disc on there. Do a shake, and we'll try this one. Doesn't take very much sand to be in here. I honestly thought it would be thicker sand, but it's maybe 1/8 of an inch, 3/16 or so thick. It's really thick on this end, so it's kind of harder to do it, so I'm gonna have to take some sand out, but that kind of gives you some ideas. Just some fun little things to do. So I'm gonna put these little nubs here. I'm gonna go around the border with this small one. I made some other ones, just some different doodads to kind of play with. Make some different designs this way. Sky's the limit. Whether you need a moment of calm or some relaxing creativity, this Zen tray brings both. And if you want, you can make one of your own. Just go to my website at timberwestdesign.com. You can download the digital files for a small fee and build your own and have some fun. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. If you want to see more cool stuff, I got some really fun stuff coming in the next few weeks. Stay tuned and I'll see you then.